It's AIP day 7 for me, and it's been interesting to see the differences between doing this and doing my Whole30 back in March, because like the Whole30, it felt like the first day was okay, the second day it started to suck, day 3, 4, it kind of went down like a downward curve and then went back up. And it was kind of consistent though. Like I could see what the symptoms were gonna be each day. I knew I was gonna be tired and grumpy and all these different things coming off the blood sugar roller coaster. With this AIP thing, trying to get off of the caffeine and like still trying to get off the sugars and just all these other things, it's been interesting because it's more like intestinal digestive issues I've had, and it's just very interesting to me. For example, I'm still constipated. I mean, I don't think I realized how much caffeine was keeping me regular, but I mean, I'm sure there were some other factors that went into it too, but like my gut flora is changing and it's just not excreting the way it's supposed to. And yeah, if you've ever been constipated, you know it's not very fun. I mean, I've been increasing my magnesium and it's been kind of helping, but I'm not quite there yet. And I think I'm gonna start introducing stomach acid support as well with a stomach acid supplement, because I've done that before. I've personally had issues with low stomach acid before, and I'm assuming because I was kind of eating, you know, closer to a normal diet than to AIP for the last few months, it probably started to get lessened too. When you eat like a 5-year-old, your stomach acid doesn't exactly work the way it's supposed to. In terms of the way I've been feeling, I haven't had any like major energy dips. It's just been more like I've been sleepy tired. And so like Saturday, I hurt my back while I was planting flowers, and I lifted a really heavy pot and I hurt my back. And so I feel like there's still a lot of inflammation in my body because the response was kind of crazy. Like it still hurts right now. And like usually I think I would do something like that and it wouldn't be so bad, but I think I'm still having some inflammation, so it's a lot more painful than it should be, I think. I don't know. I also had, like all weekend, I've had some really bad like seasonal allergies, and those I haven't had for like a year, and suddenly they're coming on really strong right now. And then like in terms of sleep, on Saturday, I woke up around 2 a.m. and I was up for about 20 minutes and had to pee, so definitely still need to work on some blood sugar issues there and just, you know, getting sleep dialed in general. Sunday, still had the allergies, my back was still killing me, but instead of having like a medication like Tylenol or Aleve or something, which I don't really want to do because that can hurt your gut more than it can help the whole symptoms, unless you're in like dire pain, trying to avoid these kind of things. So I used a mixture of essential oils. I used doTERRA's Deep Blue, and I put that on my back, and it seemed to help somewhat. I mean, not completely, but enough that it took the edge off. And then Sunday afternoon, I actually took an hour-long nap. We put our hammock out back, and I laid down in it, and I like fell asleep like that, and slept for about an hour. But it didn't affect my sleep at all that night, so I think I really needed it. And then this morning, I'm feeling rather kind of unmotivated to do this whole AIP thing. And I think this is normal, like especially on any restricted diet where, I mean, I had to watch my husband eat eggs and coffee and sausage and pancakes in front of me, which just was hard. And some days I can do it and it's not a problem. And especially in the very beginning, I think you're all motivated and like, woohoo, I'm gonna get better. And then you get over like the honeymoon phase and then you just realize like reality sets in. And that's what's happening to me today. And I had a broccoli stir fry, which wasn't quite the same. And so, yeah. I think it's a pretty normal thing though, just to go through ups and downs like that where you feel motivated, then you don't. And I think that's really why I think you have to have your why in place of why you're going to be doing this, because you're gonna totally forget about that on days like this. And you don't wanna have a small why, like I wanna feel better. That's gonna just, you're gonna forget about that the minute you feel a little bit better and this kind of stuff happens. You need to have like a deep why. And for example, my why is that I want to feel better so that way I can be a good mom and play with my kids and be around and present and just be a great mom and wife and person and have enough energy to do what I want to do. So like a why like that will definitely keep you motivated a lot longer. For movement, if you watch my Whole30 thing, I usually do a 40-minute walk with my dog every day. Last week was a little hard because it was raining almost every day, and so we got some shorter walks in, but this weekend it was hot, and so it was harder to get some walks in because he was getting all panty, and that doesn't work well either. So movement's been a little different than usual, but we're still trying to get in at least 45 minutes to an hour of walking a day, but it's kind of been broken up into little bits instead. And then for food, I forgot to show you last Thursday after my bar workout that I had some sliced turkey. It was True Story sliced turkey from Costco and a banana. And I put that into a little container that had an ice pack just because I like to keep it in my car and eat it on my way home. Friday night, it wasn't an empanada that we had for our picnic night. It was Stromboli. Totally had spaced what it was. But it was a really good recipe. It was white sweet potatoes and little tapioca starch, but not as much as in that flatbread that had made me all gassy on Thursday. And I served that with patacones, and it was really good, and I will definitely do that one again. Saturday, I had a sweet potato bowl because I had some leftover sweet potatoes from the Stromboli the night before that had already been cooked. So I just mashed them up and then mixed that in with a little collagen and coconut milk and coconut butter and cinnamon and salt, and then just mashed it all together, put it in the microwave, and then I topped it with some fresh berries, some crumbled little banana chips, and some melted coconut oil with cinnamon in it to kind of make like a syrup. Saturday for lunch, I had some of the leftover Kalua pork that I had found in the fridge. It was the rest of it, and so I just made that whole meal again. And then for dinner on Saturday night, it was Cinco de Mayo, so we wanted to have a little bit of fun with it. So I made cassava flour tortillas, which was a recipe by Downshiftology, and it's like cassava flour, cream of tartar, baking soda, salt, I don't know, all AIP compliant ingredients, and just made those in the pan along with halibut fish tacos that so we grilled the halibut, and then I made a mango guacamole, which the recipe is from the Healing Kitchen, and some shredded red cabbage. And then I had some more plantains left over from the patacones, so I just sliced them up and then put them in the oven, doused with some avocado oil and salt at 425 for about 25 minutes. I just turned them over once in the middle. And then my husband also grilled up some sweet potatoes that he covered with olive oil and garlic. Also had some sangria that night. It was a mocktail sangria from the Healing Kitchen, and it was really good because it had all the fruit and everything, and it was pomegranate juice and kombucha. And the kombucha taste of it actually kind of made it taste like it was alcoholic, but it wasn't. And it was actually really nice to be able to drink a fun, fruity drink like that without having the whole, like, you know, up here buzz and all that. It's like, I know a lot of people really like the buzz, but recently I've decided I don't. Like, I think I've spent so much of my life in brain fog and not feeling very clear thinking that, like, getting drunk just doesn't appeal to me at all anymore. So being able to have something like that and not have to suffer from that was really good. On Sunday, I just had a leftover sweet potato bowl again, but this time with some bacon, and I served it up with some of that coffee of the dandelion root and chicory root. It's a bulletproof coffee recipe that I found by Mickey Trescott, and I'll link to it below. It was good. It's just, I think I may have overdone the chicory, and I think when I did AIP before, I had to dial in the amounts of chicory and dandelion root to really get it to where I liked it, and it was just a little too bitter for me. So I think I have to kind of cut back on that and experiment a little to figure out what it is. But it kind of got the point across, because Sunday is the day that I really like to just sit at the table after breakfast and hang out with my husband and chat about everything that's, you know, went on the last week and the next week. And so it was just nice to have a warm beverage to do that with. Sunday for lunch, we had leftover fish tacos. And then for dinner, we had bison patties that were grilled and then covered with grilled pineapple, as well as avocado, some fresh sliced radishes, and some arugula. It was really good. I like the combo of the arugula, like the pepperiness from the arugula, the spiciness of the radishes, and the sweetness of the pineapple. It was really like a great combo. And then we had that with grilled asparagus that was grilled with balsamic vinegar and salt. And then for breakfast this morning, I had some leftover broccoli stir fry that I made Thursday for dinner. And it was okay for dinner. It's just hard to have that while watching people eat traditional breakfast foods that you love, because I love eggs. And so it's just hard to have something like that in front of someone who has eggs. When I did AIP the last time, I was working full time and I would just bring my stuff into work and I wouldn't even think about it. But doing it with somebody makes it a little bit harder. For lunch today, I'm gonna have the leftover bison patties. And then for dinner tonight, I'm making these AIP orange Asian kind of meatballs, and it's a recipe by AIP Lifestyle. And it was something that we made last time I did AIP, like all the time. And we've never stopped making them because we love them so much. It was our favorite meal that we had. And we've served it to tons of people that aren't even paleo at all. And they've asked for the recipe. It was really good. It does call for chicken in the recipe, ground chicken, but we use ground pork instead just because it's easier to find for me. But it makes it really good. And we're gonna serve that up with some either roasted broccoli or I'm gonna make a broccoli mash. Haven't really kind of decided on that yet, but I'll show that in the next video. All right, I'm gonna go. I gotta go make some AIP carob chip cookies. I made the carob chip yesterday, but I'm gonna make these cookies because we're going on a field trip tomorrow with my oldest son, and everybody's gonna be eating cookies and I wanted to have something too. So I'm just gonna make them. We'll probably have some today after I make them, and then I'll freeze the rest. Oh, and here's one more tip. So yesterday I was making the carob chip cookies, and neither my husband or I are fans of carob, but I put up with it through this AIP just because, you know, it's either that or nothing. And my 8-year-old was like, ooh, what are you making? And I said, oh, I'm making carob chips for carob chip cookies. And he said, ooh, can I have some? And my husband's like, ugh, you know, it's carob, it's not chocolate. And I said, shh. Don't say that. Don't put words in his mouth. Let him try it on his own. So my husband said, yeah, okay, I understand. That makes sense. And sure enough, Nathan had them and loved them. So, you know, just if you have kids and you're trying to like put them on this kind of restrictive diet or give them ingredients that they may not be like familiar with, that you don't like, just don't put any words in their mouth because they may love it, and you know, then your job's easier, right?